Okay, so now we're in the tone section, and as I had mentioned earlier, there is an auto option. I don't use it. I just don't like what the software does majority of time. So let's move through the next options that we have here, which is exposure and contrast. I'm not necessarily opposed to increasing the exposure. Moving the exposure slider is going to push all of the information in the histogram to the right. And you know, it might need to go a little bit. So if I just click on this little slider and move things over a little bit, you can see that it opens the image up quite nicely. And you might even say, geez, you know, it looks like it might have been underexposed a little bit. So this would be equivalent to 1 f-stop, increase in exposure. And that might be just a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the little slider triangle thing, and double clicking any one of these guys will reset them back to 0. And if I put my cursor inside there and just hit the up arrow key, you can see I'm going in small increments, and I'm going to go to about +5. That to me helps out the image immensely. If I want to darken the sky a little bit later on, I can, all that kind of fun stuff. Now, as far as the contrast is concerned, this is a global contrast enhancement. And if I were to move the slider to the right, I will increase the contrast. And what that means is I'm going to be making whatever is dark in the image darker and whatever is light in the image lighter. Not necessarily what I want to do. I don't necessarily want to make the dark stuff darker. The light stuff lighter, that's an option. So let's ignore contrast for now. And let's come down to the highlights. And if I put my cursor over the highlight slider, I want you to take a look up in the histogram here. And you're going to see the area that it can affect, change. And if I put it over shadows, you can see how it's got that lighter gray area over the shadow area. You see how it's flipping back and forth? And then shadows is deeper, and blacks and whites and all that kind of stuff. So what I may want to do is open up my shadows. And since I'm not quite sure how much I want to move it, I'm just going to put my cursor in the shadow text input field. I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to tap the up arrow key to go in increments of 10. And that opened up the shadow areas quite nicely. So that has that set up. The highlights, I might want to just go a little bit closer, so I give that +10. The whites, I might want to give that a little bit of a push up, and the blacks I'm not going to make any blacker. So that's basically it as far as the tone section of the basics tab is concerned. If you want to experiment, go right ahead. As you're editing, you're going to find that your images are going to, use different input values than what I'm using, but that's all because your monitor is probably set a little bit differently than mine. In the next video, we will talk about the presence section, which is clarity, vibrance, and saturation.